As well as the ability to support text and numbers in Excel, and in future lessons you'll see how we can use formulas and maths to manipulate those text and numbers. Excel can also handle dates and time really quite efficiently as well. Now if we wanted to enter a date in a cell, you just pick a cell just as we have done with text and numbers and type that date in. So it may be we would like to enter August 2nd, 1966. And when you press return, you'll see that Excel changes the format of how I've typed it into its default format for a date, which is month, day, year. Now I could type the date in full text format and say 2 August 1966 and press return, and you'll see that Excel has changed that to 2 Aug 66. And if you click back on in the formula bar, you'll notice at the top it's 8/2/1966. So it understands the text version as well as the typing in the correct format version. Now you do have to be slightly careful in that if I just put a date and a month, so if I put 2/8, so February the 8th, and press return, notice how it's changed it to February the 8th, but it's defaulted to this year. Let's assume 2010, which can actually be quite useful if you're data entering and all the dates are from this year. You don't need to enter the year. Just put the month and the day, and Excel will assume the rest. Now we'll look at how you can control and alter the formatting of these dates so they suit your pattern at a later stage, but you can type in slash format or hyphen format, and it will quite happily convert into its default format. One format you cannot type in directly is with the dot notation. So if we were to put August 2nd, 1966 with dots, which is common in some countries, and press return, you'll notice that it stayed left aligned. It's effectively treated it as text. It didn't understand why you wanted 2 decimal places, and it definitely doesn't see it as a date. So it needs to be with slashes or hyphens. And you can not worry too much about the century. If I put 66, you can see it assumes 1966. It does that based on a pivot year of 50. So anything up to 50 is assumed to be 2000, and anything 51 and above is assumed to be 19. So that's how it decides on which century to use if you're sticking with 2-digit years, but obviously it's safer to stick with 4-digit year. Now dealing with time, if we move over across a little bit, we can put time elements in. So if I wanted to put 5 o'clock, put 1700, and you can see that that's 5 p.m. Or I might want to put 9:20 for 9:20, and we have 9:20 a.m. So it's the colon that is the time derivative here. And you can put the seconds in as well if you wish. 9:20 and 33 seconds. So we have 9:20 and 33 seconds. So the last element are the seconds, then we have the minutes, then we have the hours. And you'll see later on when we look at using formulas, you can actually use formulas with time to add up time or work out the difference between time. So how long has someone been at a particular job? Those kind of normal things you would want to do mathematically with time elements. But if you're entering the time in, it needs to have the colon between the hour element and the minute element, and if you're adding the seconds, between the minute element and the second element. Otherwise it doesn't understand that you're trying to enter a time into there. Just before we leave the date and the time away, I'm just going to show you 2 keyboard shortcuts. One is to get today's date, which is Control semicolon, and that sticks today's date in as March 31st, 2010. And then if we come over here, we can do Control and Shift held down together, and semicolon to get the time in. So it's currently 12:37. So that's 2 very nifty keyboard shortcuts when you're looking at data entry into Excel to speed things up. Control semicolon to get today's date, Control Shift semicolon to get the current time.